Hello friends, I am CA Dipti Jain, co-founder GyaanStation and Vice President Choice Group. Welcome you all in today's webinar on bank branch audit practical aspects. We are also very glad and proud to share with you that our associated partner Choice Group through its AMC has recently launched its NFO Choice Nifty 50 and Choice Next Nifty 50 and to share more about it we have with us the Deputy CEO of Choice Group, Mr. Manish Jainji. Sir, welcome you in today's webinar. And we can proudly say that it's the 6th year of our EdTech platform, and we have received the award for our educational courses at many forums and served more than 25,000 professionals across globe in last 6 years. With a vision to provide consistent knowledge, learning, upgradation, and unstoppable webinars to serve the professionals from diverse fields like CA, CSCWA, financial advisors, 5 organizations have joined their hands together to serve the fraternity. GyaanStation, Income Tax Bar Association Ahmedabad, All Gujarat Federation of Tax Consultant, Gujarat Service Tax Bar Association, and the Choice Group, the Joy of Earning. I take the privilege to recognize the presence of galaxy of panelists we have today with us. We have very own respected Amarjit Chopra sir, the past president of ICI, and it's so much honor to have sir. Last year also, jo our bank branch audit session was again the sir approved to be with us, and he had graced our platform with his insights and knowledge. We have with us CA Ketan Sayya sir, the immediate past chairman of WIRC of ICAI. And then our next panelist, CA Hitesh Pomal sir, our own partner of SK Patodia and Associates LLP. We have with us the Dr. Kartikeya Shah, president of ITBA, Pankaj Shah ji, and all the associate members of other committees and organizations, and Manish Jain ji with us. So to start with today's session, a soft launch of Choice NFO will be having a short presentation with us. So for next 15 minutes, and after that we will start with the presentation. As our associate partner, it's our privilege and honor our partners have launched this NFO through its AMC. So here I share the presentation. I hope the screen is visible to all.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you all for watching it. And now we have Manish Jain ji. I request you, sir, to please share the presentation and just share us about the recent launch of Choice Nifty 50 and Choice Next Nifty 50. Would like to share that sir is having over 23 years of experience across the capital market functions and has great expertise in business building, and he widely recognized as a thought leader, and he is regular panelist of industry forums and is frequently featured across leading print and television media such as ET Now, Business Standard, Business World, Business Today, CNBC, The Week, NDTV, and various reputed digital platforms. So, here, sir, we are eagerly to know what new in this Choice Nifty 50 and Choice Next Nifty 50. Over to you.
Thank you, Deepti ji, and the esteemed panel members. Is my voice clear and the presentation visible?
Sir, would be great if you are little louder. Yeah.
Is my presentation visible and voice
Yes,
clear
sir.
now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. And you want me to continue in English or Hindi plus English?
Any mixed language can work.
Okay, fine. Thank you, everybody. So, and thanks for your time. So, as you know, Choice AMC has launched two index funds, Nifty 50 and Nifty Next 50. So, I will quickly take you through some of the macro data and why we have launched these two schemes and how it can be beneficial for the financial planning. As everybody know that in India now, as of today, we have 10 crore SIP account holders, and these 10 crore SIP account holders are actually active. So what has happened that each SIP participant has become the backbone of the domestic institutional investors, what we call as a mutual fund industry. And I think this is the best shift in Indian investing which we are seeing today. And why I say so, over 31,000 crore money coming in SIP, and this is only SIP money. It's not any other lump sum investment or other form of investment. And this money is coming mechanically. So इंडिया का जो इन्वेस्टर है उसको ये चिंता नहीं है कि यूएस में अभी रेट कहाँ जा रहा है, डॉलर स्ट्रांग है या नहीं है, ईएम मैंडेट क्या है. ईएम मैंडेट मींस एक एफपीआई हमें लगता है कि यू नो डजंट लाइक इंडिया, बट ऐसा नहीं है. व्हाट दे डू इज दैट दे हैव अ प्रेफरेंस टुवर्ड्स द रिटर्न ओनली. तो लास्ट ईयर अगर आप देखें तो डीप सीक की वजह से इंडियन मार्केट में एक करेक्शन आया, $720 बिलियन की सेलिंग हुई, बट सेम टाइम चाइना में $1.3 ट्रिलियन की बाइंग हुई थी. सो दैट इज द ईएम मैंडेट. बट एक डोमेस्टिक इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर जो है वो मार्केट में कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ खड़ा हुआ है, बिकॉज ये 31,000 करोड़ की एसआईपी हमारे पास हर महीने आ रही है. फ्रेंकली पर ट्रेडिंग डे अगर आप कैलकुलेट करते हो तो 20 से 22 ट्रेडिंग डेज एक महीने में होते हैं. And then we can say that 1,500 crore SIP money per day. That's a very big amount.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but your voice is low. Can you be little louder? We are getting messages from the participants. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Is it better now?
Little bit more, sir.
Now?
Okay.
This is the maximum I have.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now, that 31,000 crore is not an accident. It has become an architecture. कैलेंडर ईयर 2004 में अगर हम देखते हैं, एफआईआई ने सेलिंग की, 25 में रिकॉर्ड सेलिंग की, डीआईआई kept buying continuously, and because of that Nifty gave 9.24% return in 24 and roughly 10% return in 25. We bought record $90 billion. So, abhi jo market correction hai, that is a recency bias, I would say. It's also might be giving nervousness to the participant. But अगर हम डेटा की बात करें तो irrespective of this selling, मार्केट ने हमको काफी अच्छे रिटर्न पिछले 2 साल में दिए हुए हैं। उसकी एक बड़ी वजह ये भी है, पिछले 10 साल में मार्केट का पूरा स्ट्रक्चर चेंज हो गया है। एंड दिस स्ट्रक्चर आई वांट टू से इज एन इरिवर्सिबल स्ट्रक्चर। व्हाई दिस इज इरिवर्सिबल स्ट्रक्चर? बिकॉज पहले एफपीआई टू डीआईआई रेशियो होता था करीब करीब 2 के आसपास। नाउ दैट रेशियो हैज इन्वर्टेड टू 0.98। निफ्टी 50 में डीआईआई की होल्डिंग 24.8% हो गई है, एफआईआई की होल्डिंग 24.3% हो गई है। व्हाट दिस मीन्स इज कि एक जो पूरा डिकेड लगा है इस स्ट्रक्चर को बनने में, दिस स्ट्रक्चर इज नाउ इरिवर्सिबल। एंड अगर सेलिंग आती भी है, सो दैट सेलिंग इज बिकॉज ऑफ द इंटरनेशनल फैक्टर्स, और उस इंटरनेशनल फैक्टर्स की वजह से एटलीस्ट जो डीआईआई है उनकी सेलिंग इंटेंसिफाई नहीं होगी। अदरवाइज अभी जो सेलिंग देखने को आ रही है, डीआईआई का सपोर्ट अगर नहीं होता और इतनी बाइंग नहीं होती, देन फ्रैंकली व्हाट वुड हैव हैपेंड इज कि निफ्टी वुड हैव सीन कपल ऑफ लोअर सर्किट्स इन दिस काइंड ऑफ सेलिंग। एक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम जो आती है एसआईपी स्टॉक पेज की, ये बिहेवियर हमको हर बार देखने को मिलता है। कोविड में अगर आप देखें, जनवरी 20 में एसआईपी स्टॉपेज 8 लाख था, बढ़ के 15 लाख हो गया, वापस 8 लाख आया, लेकिन तब तक आप देखिए मार्केट ने बॉटम बना के कितनी तेज रिकवरी दी। 22 की बात करते हैं सेम, 25 की बात करते हैं तो सेम। 22% रैली 22 में आई 5 मंथ्स में, 25 में 16% रैली आई 6 मंथ्स में। एंड व्हाट इन्वेस्टर्स डू, they always come back into the market. So yeah, 8 lakh became 8 lakh again. That means investors are coming back. You see, this is going down as the markets are making new highs. They are locking in the permanent behavioral loss कि नीचे बेच दिया और ऊपर खरीद लिया, और ये हर बार हो रहा है। डेटा की बात करें तो एस आई पी स्टॉक पे जहां पे पीक हो रहा है 13-14 लैक्स के आसपास, उससे 1 या 2 महीने में हमारे निफ्टी का बॉटम बन जाता है। और वहां से जो रैली आती है 6 से 8 महीने में, उसका क्वांटम 15 से 20%, 22% का होता है। सो ये जो भी नर्वसनेस है या जो भी रिसेंसी है, वो अगर हम एक 6-8 महीने झेल लें और अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट कंटिन्यू करें, तो वी नॉट ओनली sustain that bottom, we will enjoy the wealth creation by accumulating the stocks or units at a very, very lower price. So that's why I say कि don't let your investment stop when fear peaks. That is where the opportunity begins. अब रिटेल इन्वेस्टर के मन में ये सवाल आता है कि भाई इंस्टीट्यूशनल के पास बहुत कैपिटल है, काफी स्पीड से ट्रेड करता है, दे कैन सेल $1-2 billion in a day. What can we do in that case? We can have time in our hand, we can have process in our hand. Systematic buying and rebalancing when these kind of FPI flows are giving the temporary mispricing. तो ये अभी टेम्पररी मिसप्राइसिंग फेज चल रहा है। सो टाइम अपने हाथ में रखें, दैट मीन्स कंटिन्यू दी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम होराइजन एंड डोंट ब्रेक द प्रोसेस ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग। दैट इज वेयर द रिटेल हैज edge. Now you see, this is the sell-off phase we are seeing right now. This is the FII induced volatility, and any investor can get involuntarily benefit in this situation. आपने लोअर प्राइस पे यूनिट एक्यूमुलेट की, फिर जब रिकवरी आई, एक फ्लोर बन गया मार्केट का, that wealth creation will be amplified, but only when you are able to accumulate during the sell off. So when we say कि FII की वोलेटिलिटी का फायदा एक रिटेल कैसे उठा सकता है, इस तरीके से उठा सकता है। कई लोगों का सवाल ये होता है कि भाई अब मार्केट जब इतना करेक्ट हो चुका है तो मेरे पास अब पैसे नहीं है लगाने के लिए, माई पोर्टफोलियो इज ऑलरेडी इन रेड, अब मैं लॉस में बेचूंगा नहीं। जब तक लॉस रिकवर होगा 6-8 महीने, साल भर निकल जाएंगे। By that time, market has run up like 15-20%, which is what we just saw in the previous slide. How to address that challenge? Create this stabilizer sleeve. where you park your money in short duration debt, arbitrage and liquid fund, overnight fund, so that when you get the opportunity like this, you accumulate equities during the dips. What we normally do in the FOMO during the rising market, we allocate everything here in the growth assets. That is a wrong approach. If you do not have a stabilizer sleeve, you will not be able to take the advantage of the growth assets during the dips. फिर क्या हो जाता है, बात वही हो जाती है कि यू माइट देन फायर सेल योर एग्जिस्टिंग एसेट्स, लॉस में निकाल दिया, फिर मार्केट में पैसा लगाया, तो घूम फिर के बात वही हो गई कि 20% लॉस पे पोर्टफोलियो बेचा, मार्केट ने 20% रिटर्न दिया, साल भर में रिटर्न एक्चुअली जीरो। एंड देन वी से कि एफडी बेटर है। इट्स नॉट कि एफडी बेटर है या इक्विटी अच्छा है, आपकी जो ओवरऑल अप्रोच है वो बैलेंस करके चलना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज देयर विल ऑलवेज बी अ प्रॉब्लम। सो we already know, we don't really have to go into the detail of this. He longer you stay in Nifty 50, higher the probability of higher return. That's a very simple message via this table. Currently, the stage at which market is, एक 10-year median है, 1 year forward P का, वो 19 के लेवल पे है। अभी हम उससे नीचे आ गए हैं। तो डेफिनेटली जब जब हम नीचे आते हैं तो एक अट्रैक्टिव वैल्यूएशन की अपॉर्चुनिटी बनती है। और एज ऑफ टुडे जो ईपीएस ग्रोथ एस्टिमेट है वो करीब करीब 16% के आसपास है। नाउ क्वेश्चन कैन कम कि भाई अगर ये वॉर की सिचुएशन लंबी चलती है तो ये 16% होल्ड करेगा या नहीं करेगा। दैट्स अ वेरी वैलिड क्वेश्चन। और हो सकता है कि अगर ये वॉर की सिचुएशन कंटिन्यू करे तो ये 16% एस्टिमेट होल्ड नहीं कर पाए, और ये रिकवरी जो हमने देखी ऑन एन एवरेज 6 से 8 महीने में आती है, वो शायद थोड़ी प्रोलोंग हो जाए। बट हैविंग सेड दैट, whenever you get these kind of valuation, the recovery happens and a sharp recovery happens. That's the message in this slide. Nifty next 50 की अगर बात करते हैं तो if you notice it says boost with Nifty next 50, because Nifty next 50 gives you slightly more return compared to Nifty 50, so you can boost your portfolio return using this instrument. It's slightly more volatile as well. A very interesting thing happening here. Nifty next 50 mostly, or rather most of the time, trades at a premium to Nifty 50. This is first time, or rather rare times, that it is trading at a discount to Nifty 50. If you would have noticed, Nifty 50 18.9 पे था, Nifty next 50 17 पे चल रहा है, और ये अपने 10-year मीडियन से 23% डिस्काउंट पे। दैट्स फैक्टर नंबर 2। थर्ड फैक्टर, कोविड के बाद लोवेस्ट वैल्यूएशन निफ्टी नेक्स्ट 50 में अब बन रहा है। सो जिन्होंने कोविड के टाइम पे इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं किया, इफ दे वांट टू फाइंड वन इंस्ट्रूमेंट वेयर कोविड के आसपास वैल्यूएशन आ रहा है, दैट इज निफ्टी नेक्स्ट 50, एंड वी हैव सीन दैट निफ्टी नेक्स्ट 50 हैज गिवन बेटर रिटर्न देन निफ्टी 50 in the longer term. So that's the message of the slide. Choice AMC, that AV was played, but in a brief, we want to be a lean tech-enabled AMC. We will have AI augmented research, and we will utilize the group distribution as well as the third-party distribution to reach out to the investors. And we will keep things simple enough to start and strong enough to stay with. Market is cluttered with multiple schemes. We want to keep simple, scalable products for the distributor community as well as for the investor community. We are not going to be only a passive scheme AMC. We will be launching active schemes also in this financial year, which is starting from April onwards. Currently, we have gold ETF live. Nifty 50, Nifty next 50 NFO is going on. Overnight fund is expected in April. Couple of FOF and ETF will come in silver and gold, and then we will start active strategies also. Second till 2nd April, these two index fund NFO is open, and these are our contact details. Now, last question, which I will answer by myself. People may ask that Why the Nifty index fund? The answer is that if somebody wants to build the confidence, then you have to start with simple product so that with less volatility, a sustainable return can come, and then start moving from the index investing to the passive investing. So if industry has to add more AUM, currently it is at 82 lakh crore, but if you have to add, let us say, another 50 lakh crore, that kind of trust has to be built within the new investors, V30 investors, repeat investors, so that they take part of take part in equity journey with the confidence. So that's the message I want to give. And with that, I would like to put a stop to my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Manish ji, for such brief but very informative presentation and taking care of the time. And thank you for being here with us and sharing the information with respect to NFO. And coming on to the today's the champion topic and the star of our today's bank branch audit session, C. Amarjit Chopra sir. Uh, here he is going to share us insights about the advances, discrepancies in advances in the case of cash credit. And here I take the privilege to introduce Sir. Sir has completed the 50 years in this profession as a chartered accountant. He is the founder partner of GSA, completed PhD on NPA management in banks, comparison between private and public sector banks, and most importantly, he had been the president of ICAI for the year 2010 and 11. And sir, I would like to mention that I qualified in the year in which you were the president, that is November 2011. So it's like a memory which will be always with me as a signature of yours on my CA certificate. He is the honorary member of Australian Institute of Chartered Accountants, and presently he is in the board of various companies including Tata Power Trading Company, SBI Mutual Fund Trustees Company Private Limited, and has been appointed as a part-time member in NAFRA, held board positions of Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank for the period of 3 years, each as central government nominee under CA category. And he has been undertaking the projects for training the professionals and others in areas of implementation of accounting standards, India's IFRS standards on auditing, audit of banks, Companies Act, role of independent directors, particularly in audit committee and others. With these words, it's great honor, sir, to welcome you in today's forum, and all the participants are eagerly waiting to have insights from your sides. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dipti. Thanks for a very generous introduction. Let me put it that way. One correction only, that I'm not a NAFRA member anymore. I think I ceased to be NAFRA member almost 2.5 years back. I was a NAFRA member, but not now, for that matter. So that's the one correction that I wanted to make before I proceed. And of course, my very dear friend Hitesh is there. Ketan, in any case, is there, who is the future of this profession. Let me put it that way. He is the future leader of the profession. It was a great delight listening to Mr. Manish Gyan on the future of the Indian market and the two indexes basically that he has told, Nifty 50 and Nifty Next 50. I would only like to say one thing so far as this bank branch audit is concerned. I am starting on a caution note and then I will switch over to the technicals. People may or may not appreciate that this branch audit would not continue for a very long time. Let's be very frank about it. I think I give it 5 to 7 years maximum that the branch audit would be there, and I will give the reasons for it. It's not that I'm just talking in the air. The first and foremost reason is that we all have been talking about lack of MOCs in the bank audits by the branch auditors. RBI has been seized of the matter, institute has been seized of the matter. And if the people, for whatever reasons, I may put it that way, have not been giving MOCs, that may reflect to the Reserve Bank of India and to the banks that probably everything is good with the banks. Where is the need to have the branch audits? And the second reason is the consolidation of the banks, basically, the mergers of the banks. Already we know that how many banks have been merged. The number of banks have already reduced. Another 4 banks are going to be merged in the next 2 years or so. And if that happens, the number of branches are bound to go down, because if on the same street, the banks of the merged branch and the merging branch, merging bank is going to be there, I don't think they will continue on the same street, the 2 branches. They will definitely merge one of the branches with the other. So the number of branches are bound to reduce. And the third reason, the other reason for it is that most of the banks are going in for the specialized branches, whether for the you can say infrastructure, or for the small scale, or for any matter, or educational loans or housing loans. And they are parking the loans with regard to a particular category in one particular branch. Now, if that is happening, the number of branches with the advances would go down in the years to come. You can be rest assured about it. But we may or may not like it. Probably there are going to be cases where a particular bank may have only about 250 or 300 or 400 branches where the advances are parked. So the maximum advances are parked. Now, when the Reserve Bank of India lays down that, probably the banks can choose how much advances are to be audited as a percentage of the total advances. If those 400 or 300 branches are going to carry almost 60 to 70% of the total advances of the bank, where is the question of auditing the other branches? Because the bank would be compliant with the Reserve Bank of India guidelines in that particular case by getting those branches audited. And the other thing is that we all know that ICICI or HDFC or Axis Bank or Kotak Mahindra Bank don't have any branch audits. Let's be clear about it. And why they don't have? They don't have the branch audits primarily because of the reason that their all documents are digitized, whether these are advanced documents or these are the, you can say the deposit documents are. Now, the day the public sector banks are also able to digitize all the advances documents and the deposit documents, and those documents are available at the central level, probably the entire audit would be possible to be carried out at the central level, and probably the branch audits would go away. The leadership of the institute has a duty, and I can say that I've been talking about it for last 20-25 years, and I've been saying that the branch audit would not remain the way these are today. They have a duty to caution the membership that they should not be over dependent upon the branch audits and the tax audits in particular, if you ask me. And thirdly, now with the corporate bill coming in, with Ketan Sahaji being there, I will like to point out one thing. With corporate bill coming in, and corporate bill specifying that probably certain specified class of companies may not be audited. I'm not saying that shall not be audited, because it is still a bill only. And the institute has got a golden opportunity because the bill has been referred to the Joint Parliamentary Committee. Now you can represent your case as to what is the role of the small companies with regard to the shell companies, and whether these need to be audited or these don't need to be audited. And if we are able to convince those parliamentarians that this must continue, then it's fine. But if we are not able to continue, we are not able to convince, in that particular case, certain companies would also go out of the audit. Now you look at the situation that the people in the Mufassal towns particularly, what kind of practice will be there? They will not have the branch audits, they will not have the tax audits, they will not have the small companies audits. So where do they go from here? I think there is a serious need today to have a debate rather than on technical topics, the restructuring of the firms, the finding out the new avenues for the professional opportunities. Basically, let me be very clear about it. Technical topics will come into play only when the profession survives, when there is a work for the professionals. But if the professional work goes away, where is the question of all this for that matter? Then only the bigger firms are going to survive. And then the smaller firms have a very clear obligation today, and I think their mind should be very clear that they need to consolidate themselves also. They need to go for networking, etc. Now, everyone today is talking of GCC, etc., accounting. How many people will be able to go into that? Let's find out. I think it is good, very good to say that yes, GCC work is going to be exploding. But how many firms will be accommodated there? Let's try to find out. Has anybody tried to carry out a survey with regard to that? Any research with regard to that? That how many chartered accountants will be absorbed? We are in the first 26 years of the profession. When I qualified in 1975, only 15,000 chartered accountants were created in 26 years. And today, in every attempt, we are creating more number of chartered accountants than what 26 years created. And then we have gone in for 3 attempts in the final. It must be in the wisdom of the council. I don't want to say anything. That you feel that yes, there is a need for so many chartered accountants, knowing fully well what is the state. I don't want to comment on that. So my humble submission to Dipti is that please try to organize more talks today on the topics like what are going to be the new avenues, how the firm should be reorganizing themselves, what kind of opportunities they should be trying to explore. To my mind, in the times to come, it will be RERA, it will be FEMA, it will be GST litigation, it will be tax litigation. It could be set in other areas, basically. There could be number of areas which could be explored. We have been all talking of systems audit, etc., etc. Yes, these will definitely come into play. There is no doubt about it. Forensic audit is going to be one of the major areas, but how many people will be able to do the forensic audit and get the forensic audit? That's another thing to be determined. So I'm starting on this note of caution that probably branch audits may or may not be there. But I personally feel after 5 to 7 years, the number will be drastically reduced. I'm using the word drastically reduced so far as that is concerned. And this year, Hitesh knows, Ketan must be knowing it. What has been the struggle for the branch auditors to get the branch audits? I don't want to say anything for that matter. And the unfortunate part has been all these years when people were dependent upon the branch audits. If there were 3 family members, they created 3 firms to get the branch audits. I think that has been foolhardy. And that is where the profession has suffered to a very, very large extent, if you ask me. And I've been saying this for ages, not today. Even when I used to go out for elections, even when I was contesting the VP election, I was cautioning the members like this. My supporter used to come out and say, "Aap vote मांगने आए हैं या कुछ और करने आए हैं?" And I used to say, people people are willing to listen to the truth also. It's not that people don't want to listen to the truth, and they still vote. It's not that people don't vote if you tell them speak the truth. अब आपका टॉपिक है कैश क्रेडिट. हितेश जी सामने बैठे हो और मैं बोलूं, ये वैसे जायज तो नहीं है, बट स्टिल आई लाइक टू से समथिंग अबाउट इट. देखिए, कैश क्रेडिट एक ऐसा विषय है, आप सारे केसेस को एक तरफ कर दीजिए और कैश क्रेडिट को एक तरफ कर दीजिए. आई थिंक कैश क्रेडिट इज द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द ब्रांच ऑडिट, इफ यू आस्क मी. और एक वर्ड मैं आपको और एक सेंटेंस और बोल दूं कि टर्म लोन्स में, बिल्स में, डेरिवेटिव्स में, लीज फाइनेंसिंग में जो एनपीएस के प्रूडेंशियल नॉर्म्स हैं, दे टॉक ऑफ एक्सीडिंग 90 days. In the case of cash credit, it talks of 90 days, irregularity for 90 days. That's one difference that you need to note. Whereas in the case of term loans, etc., it says it becomes NPA when the account is overdue by a period of more than 90 days. Whereas in the case of cash credit, it says when the irregularity is of 90 days. That's one basic difference between the prudential norms for the term loans, cash credits, bills, etc. etc. देखिए टर्म लोन्स के केस में दिक्कत इसलिए नहीं है कि वहां पे अगर if I am able to make if I am able to verify the end use of the funds, I think most of the purpose is served. If I have the evidence that the machinery has been purchased at the rate after getting the quotations, etc., and then if the payments keep coming, it's fine. If these don't come on the stipulated date and the 90 days period is overdue, more than 90 days period is overdue, you will classify that account as NPL. And even the system may classify that account as NPL. But in the cash credit, it doesn't happen. And mark my words, if any one of us tries to audit the cash credit by looking at the operation in the account, you can never conduct the audit of the cash credit. For conducting the audit of the cash credit, you have to read the file, sanction file particularly, or the renewal file. Why I say so? Why do you allow the cash credit? You allow the cash credit for the working capital gap, basically. That the company needs to operate on a particular working capital gap, and that working capital gap requirement has to be filled in by the bank, subject to certain margins, whatever margins may be stipulated by the bank in those cases. Now, suppose the bank in the sanction letter has very clearly said that the debtor should not exceed 30 days or maybe 45 days or 60 days, whatever norms are laid down. Work in progress should be only for about 15 days. Finished goods may be for about 1 month. Again, raw materials could be for 2 months, depending upon the nature of the raw materials, etc., etc. And creditors may not exceed a particular stipulated period of time. There are number of cases in the banking industry. I'm not talking in terms of the absolute amount. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि डेटर्स 1 करोड़ के ऊपर नहीं होने चाहिए, क्रेडिटर्स 50 लाख के ऊपर नहीं होने चाहिए, स्टॉक्स आपका 50 लाख के ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए. I'm not talking in those terms. I'm talking in terms of the days holding, in terms of the sales values. बेसिकली कि मेरे पास इन्वेंट्री कितने दिन की होनी चाहिए. इन्वेंट्रीज में भी फर्दर बाइफर्केशन है. मेरे पास रॉ मटेरियल्स की, वर्क इन प्रोसेस की, फिनिश्ड गुड्स की और स्टोर्स एंड स्पेयर्स की बाइफर्केशन है फर्दर. वो इन्वेंट्री कितने दिन की होनी चाहिए, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी अंडरस्टूड. सिमिलरली डेटर सेल्स वैल्यू के कितने दिन के होने चाहिए, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. क्रेडिटर्स कितने दिन के होने चाहिए, बिकॉज all those ultimately going to determine the working capital gap. होता क्या है, वो बैलेंस शीट फाइल करते रहते हैं, स्टेटमेंट फाइल करते रहते हैं. वो जो स्टेटमेंट फाइल करते हैं मैं उसके ऊपर मार्जिन लगा के अपना डीपी अलाउ करता रहता हूं. दैट इज नॉट द वे टू कंडक्ट द ऑडिट ऑफ ए कैश क्रेडिट. कैश क्रेडिट का ऑडिट तब होगा जब आपकी उसको टर्नओवर पता हो, टर्नओवर के ऊपर जो आपने रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगा रखी हैं विद रिगार्ड टू द नंबर ऑफ डेज ऑफ होल्डिंग ऑफ द इन्वेंट्रीज और ऑफ द डेटर्स और ऑफ द क्रेडिटर्स. 5, 10, 15% की वेरिएशन हो छोड़ दीजिए, पर अगर 50% की वेरिएशन है, आपकी 40% की वेरिएशन है, आपकी इन्वेंट्रीज होनी चाहिए सपोज कीजिए 1 महीने की, आपकी इन्वेंट्रीज हो चुकी 3 महीने की. आर यू सपोज टू अलाउ द डीपी अगेंस्ट दोस 2 months इन्वेंट्री टू हिम? That is my precise point, basically. But we don't look at it. That is the problem. I will quote you one of the examples, classical examples, and I think Hitesh knows about it. There was a company in which the work in progress was supposed to be about a month's requirement of the sales value. When we looked at the entire thing and how it happened, I will also explain you that, because मेरा अपना मानना यह है कि कैश क्रेडिट का जब भी आप ऑडिट करेंगे, आपकी जो सिक्स सेंस है ना, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. In any audit, sixth sense is very important for that matter. And I will not start with negativity कि सब चोर हैं. But I will definitely start with a negative, with a skepticism approach कि गलती हो सकती है, गलती तो हो सकती है, और गलती हो सकने में किसका रोल हो सकता है? सपोज कीजिए आपने स्टॉक ऑडिट दिया हुआ किसी कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट का, और स्टॉक ऑडिटर लिए लिखे जा रहा है कि साहब मुझे ये इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं मिल रही, मेरे स्टॉक वेरीफाई नहीं करवाया जा रहा है। तो क्यों नहीं वेरीफाई करवा रहा वो स्टॉक? आई डोंट थिंक आई हैव टू एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू। और अगर स्टॉक ऑडिटर्स की रिपोर्ट बार बार ये कहती है कि वो मुझे वेरीफाई नहीं करने दे रहा, या 90% का 100% का स्टॉक है, उसमें से जो 20% का स्टॉक एक जगह पड़ा वो तो वेरीफाई करवा दिया, दूसरा कहता है कि बड़ी दूर है वहां नहीं जा सकते आप। और बैंक वाले ने भी ये लिख के दिया कि आपको सिर्फ ये वेयर हाउस वेरीफाई करना है और दूसरा वेयर हाउस आपको वेरीफाई करने की जरूरत नहीं है। I think that is first doubt in my mind which should be created. That should create a first doubt in my mind why it is happening. इस केस में हमारे साथ बिल्कुल यही पोजीशन थी। हमें जब हमने स्टॉक ऑडिटर की रिपोर्ट देखी तो उसमें यह था कि अगर 550 ड्रम्स थे तो ही कुड लुक इनटू अबाउट हार्डली 35 और 40 ऑफ द ड्रम्स बेसिकली, एंड व्हेन ही कुड लुक इनटू 35 और 40 ऑफ द ड्रम्स, और बाकियों में उसने कहा कि मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया कि क्या है। तो सबसे पहला डाउट तो यही हुआ कि भाई इसको समझ क्यों नहीं आया कि ये क्या है। वी वेंट इनटू द सैंक्शन फाइल्स, वी केम अक्रॉस कि भाई वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस इतने का होना चाहिए, डेटर्स इतने के होने चाहिए, फिनिश गुड्स इतने के होने चाहिए, दिन के। वी लुक्ड एट द बैलेंस शीट, वी लुक्ड एट द P&L अकाउंट। उसमें अगर 1 महीने का वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस होना चाहिए था तो उसकी फिगर्स पता क्या थी? अगर 1200 करोड़ रुपए की टर्नओवर थी तो 900 करोड़ रुपए का वर्क इन प्रोसेस था। अब आप इमेजिन करें 1200 करोड़ की सेल के अगेंस्ट अगर आपका 900 करोड़ का वर्क इन प्रोसेस है, और तब भी बैंक उसको डीपी दिए जा रहा। अवर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज, क्या आप ये बताइए कि इसकी एवरेज सेल रियलाइजेशन क्या है? इट्स एवरेज सेल रियलाइजेशन वाज टू अबाउट 1200 रुपीज। फिर हमने देखा कि ये वर्क इन प्रोसेस को किस पे वैल्यू कर रहा है। वर्क इन प्रोसेस वाज बीइंग वैल्यूड एट 2300 रुपीज। अब आप वर्क इन प्रोसेस अगर 2300 रुपए का है, आप उसमें 100 रुपए ऐड करेंगे, 200 रुपए ऐड करेंगे, 150 रुपए ऐड करेंगे, डेफिनेटली उसकी वैल्यू 2400-2500 रुपया हो जाएगी। कॉस्ट आप बेच रहे हैं उसको 1200 रुपए के ऊपर। तो हमारा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन बैंक को यह था कि आर यू फंडिंग देयर लॉसेस? व्हेन द पार्टी वाज कॉल्ड इन, पार्टी सेड कि अगर मैं इसको वैल्यू इस पे नहीं करूंगी वर्क इन प्रोसेस को तो मेरी डीपी नहीं निकलती। That is not my job. That is not the job of the banker. But the job of the banker was to monitor it. The banker was not willing to monitor that particular account. For reasons best known, 1600 करोड़ रुपए का बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री का अकाउंट है, ये आपको और बता सकता हूँ। The account was classified as NPA primarily on the ground जिसकी एवरेज सेल रियलाइजेशन 1200 रुपए है, उसकी वर्क इन प्रोसेस कैन नॉट बी वैल्यूड एट 2300 रुपीज। और दूसरा जो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट था वो ये था कि किसी भी सूरत में 1200 करोड़ की सेल के अगेंस्ट 900 करोड़ का वर्क इन प्रोसेस नहीं हो सकता, विच मीन्स ऑलमोस्ट 9 मंथ्स वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस होता किसी इंडस्ट्री में। अब आप बता दीजिए, बट दैट इज व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग। तो जिस किसी भी कंपनी में आपको ये लगे कि फिनिश गुड्स पाइल अप होने शुरू हो गए, इन्वेंट्रियां आपके रॉ मटेरियल पाइल अप होने शुरू हो गए, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली जब वर्क इन प्रोसेस बढ़ना शुरू होता है, दैट ऑटोमेटिकली मींस कि हो सकता है कि मटेरियल्स डिसअपियर होने शुरू हो गए, some fraudulent activity has started taking place. Please get into the number of days of the holding of the stocks and the debtors, etc., and then conduct the audit of the cash credit. You cannot conduct it otherwise. There is no other way that you can do it. और दूसरी चीज मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि जब कभी भी आप कंपनी की टर्नओवर देख रहे हैं उसको वेरीफाई करें विद द जीएसटी रिटर्न्स। ये मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ, 18 से 22 तक आई एज अ गवर्नमेंट नॉमिनी ऑन द डिसिप्लिनरी कमेटी ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट, banks had filed complaints against the concurrent auditors and some of the branch auditors. और उसमें यही था कि साहब P&L में तो टर्नओवर ये है पर एक्चुअल टर्नओवर थी नहीं कभी भी। तो वी आस्क्ड द ऑडिटर्स कि भाई आपने इसको वेरीफाई कहाँ से किया, आपने वैट रिटर्न इसकी वेरीफाई नहीं की क्योंकि उससे पहले वैट ही था, आपने इसकी वैट रिटर्न वेरीफाई नहीं की, दे आर नॉट वेरीफाइड द वैट रिटर्न। वैट रिटर्न अगर वेरीफाई कर लेते तो उनको पता लग जाता कि इसकी एक्चुअल टर्नओवर कितनी है। तो आज की डेट में भी मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, जहां पे कैश क्रेडिट का आप वेरी कर रहे हैं वहां पे टर्नओवर को विद रेफरेंस टू जीएसटी रिटर्न जरूर वेरीफाई करिए। अगर आप जीएसटी रिटर्न से उसको कंपेयर नहीं कर रहे हैं देन यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू वेरीफाई व्हाट इज द एक्चुअल टर्नओवर ऑफ द एंटिटी फॉर दैट मैटर। Another thing that I will like to say is that there you will find number of accounts in the banking industry with regard to cash credit जिसमें सिर्फ साल में 8 एंट्रीज होंगी। हर क्वार्टर के एंड पे इंटरेस्ट डेबिटेड और इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड, इंटरेस्ट डेबिटेड, इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड, इंटरेस्ट डेबिटेड, इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड। दैट कैन नॉट बी द कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट। वो कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट हो ही नहीं सकता क्योंकि कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट तो वो है जो आपने वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए दिया, उसमें परचेजेस भी करनी है, उसने वेज पेमेंट भी करनी है, उसने ट्रांसपोर्ट की पेमेंट करनी है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की पेमेंट करनी है, सब चीजों की पेमेंट करनी है, उसमें उसकी सेल की रिसीट भी आनी है। अगर वो कुछ आ ही नहीं रहा उसमें तो हाउ इट कैन बी कंसिडर्ड टू बी कैश क्रेडिट। वो हुआ क्या, किसी साल में आपने उसको किसी इन्वेंट्री के अगेंस्ट, डेटर्स के अगेंस्ट पैसा अलाउ कर दिया, उसने उस पैसे को कहीं पे और डाइवर्ट कर दिया और उसके बाद वो यही ऑपरेट करे जा रहा कि कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट में चार जो हर क्वार्टर में 2 एंट्रीज डालनी होती है वो आप इंटरेस्ट डेबिट करते हो, वो इंटरेस्ट क्रेडिट कर देता, उतना की पेमेंट कर देता। अगर ये हो रहा हो तो उस पर्टिकुलर अकाउंट को एनपीए कराइएगा आप, नोबडी इज गोइंग टू स्टॉप यू because it is because of the misutilization of the funds right at the beginning of um, the facility being granted. So number 2 जो मैं आपसे another thing that I will like to discuss with in relation to the same thing is आपके पास ऐसे बहुत अकाउंट मिलेंगे, बहुत अकाउंट मिलेंगे, मेरे ख्याल हितेश जी will also speak about it when he speaks about it, कि आपकी टर्नओवर तो है सपोज कीजिए 5 करोड़ की और आपके कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट में क्रेडिट्स नहीं आ रहे 10 लाख, अब 20 लाख से 25 लाख के या 30 लाख के। आप सैंक्शन लेटर पढ़ लीजिए, अगर सैंक्शन लेटर में आपने ये कहा that he can operate with some other bank account also, bank also, then probably you have allowed him to operate with some other bank and probably those credits are going there. But if your sanction says that he is supposed to operate only with you, तो उस केस में क्या है, उस केस में तो ये है कि इसका मतलब यहाँ तो कैश में ट्रांजैक्शन चल रही है सारी की सारी, यहाँ ट्रांजैक्शन है ही नहीं। ऐसे केसेस में भी वैट जीएसटी रिटर्न से वेरीफाई करना बहुत जरूरी है। तो ये जो मिसमैच है बिटवीन द टर्नओवर एंड द क्रेडिट्स, क्योंकि अगर उसने सेल करनी है तो उसको परचेज भी चाहिए और परचेज के लिए डेबिट्स भी चाहिए, डेबिट आ नहीं रहा, डेबिट भी उतने ही आ रहे हैं। अगर 4 लाख के मेरे क्रेडिट्स आ रहे हैं तो 3 लाख के या 2 लाख के मेरे डेबिट्स आ रहे हैं, वो नहीं हो सकता। या वो उतना ही डेबिट और क्रेडिट कर रहा है जितना कि उसको इंटरेस्ट जो डेबिट होता है उसको मीट आउट करने के लिए, क्योंकि प्रूडेंशियल नॉर्म ये कहता है कि अगर आपका कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट के अंदर credits are less than the interest debited in the last 90 days, then the account will be classified to be irregular and it will have to be classified as NPA. Please be cautious so far as this particular point is concerned. इसको बहुत जरूरी है कि ये आप जो सबमिशंस हैं कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट्स में क्रेडिट्स की और डेबिट्स की, उसके ऊपर अपना पूरा नजर दौड़ाएं। एक और चीज जो बहुत मई 22 में मेरा ख्याल आरबीआई का सर्कुलर है उसमें उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई किया है और बहुत अच्छा क्लैरिफाई किया। उन्होंने कहा व्हाट इज रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग ऑफ एन अकाउंट, और उन्होंने कहा कि रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग ऑफ अकाउंट का मतलब यह है कि इफ एन पर्टिकुलर borrower is in a financial difficulty and bank allows him any kind of concession, it will be considered to be restructuring and the account will have to be classified as an NPL. ये बड़ी मजेदारी की बात है कि वो ये कह रहे हैं कि आपकी अगर एक फाइनेंशियल डिफिकल्टी को उन्होंने फिर बताया इंडिकेटर्स क्या है। फाइनेंशियल डिफिकल्टी के इंडिकेटर्स उन्होंने बताया कि सपोज कीजिए आपकी सेल्स डाउन हो रही है, आपकी जो करंट रेशियो है वो डाउन हो रही है, आपका प्रॉफिट मार्जिन डाउन हो रहा है, आप प्रॉफिट से लॉस में आ गए हैं, इन्वेंट्रीज आपकी पाइल अप हो रही हैं, डेटर्स आपके पाइल अप हो रही हैं, क्रेडिटर्स आपके बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, स्ट्रेचड ड्यूज में आप डिफॉल्ट करते जा रहे हैं, एलसीज आपकी डिवॉल्व हो रही हैं, बैंक गारंटीज आपकी इन्वोक हो रही हैं। अगर ये सब कुछ है तो आप ये मान लीजिए कि पार्टी फाइनेंशियल डिफिकल्टी में है। और अगर आपने उस केस में ये किया कि स्टॉक्स के अगेंस्ट मार्जिन 25% से 20% कर दिया या 15% कर दिया, तो इट इज रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग एंड द अकाउंट विल हैव टू बी क्लासिफाइड एज एनपीए। अगर आपने डेटर्स के अगेंस्ट मार्जिन था 50%, आपने कर दिया उसको 25% या 30%, इट विल बी कंसिडर्ड टू बी रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग एंड द अकाउंट विल हैव टू बी क्लासिफाइड एज एनपीए. But if the account is running well, the turnover is on the increase, profits are on the increase, everything is going on very well. And then the party says in a commanding voice कि भाई मैं आपको 10% इंटरेस्ट नहीं दे सकता, मैं आपको 8% इंटरेस्ट दूंगा, then it will not be considered to be restructuring. ये आपको डिटरमिन करना पड़ेगा, और ये कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट में मिलेंगे आपको प्राइमरली, और किसी अकाउंट में आपको मिलेंगे नहीं इस तरीके की डिफिकल्टीज। तो इनको जरा ध्यान रखिएगा। और एक कैश क्रेडिट में जो बहुत बड़ी बात है, आपको कभी कभार स्टेटमेंट ऑफ एडवांसेस में एक कंट्रोल अकाउंट मिलेगा, बीजी इन्वोक्ड एंड पेड कंट्रोल अकाउंट, एलसी डिवॉल्व्ड एंड पेड कंट्रोल अकाउंट। ये एक्चुअली जब एलसी डिवॉल्व हुई थी तो कैश क्रेडिट को डेबिट होना नहीं चाहिए थी, आपने कैश क्रेडिट को डेबिट नहीं की, क्योंकि कैश क्रेडिट को डेबिट करते तो अकाउंट रेगुलर हो जाता आपका। या बीजी इन्वोक हुई थी और आपने पे की थी तो कैश क्रेडिट को आपने डेबिट नहीं किया। जहां पे भी ये कंट्रोल अकाउंट आपको नजर आता है, वहां वहां पे यू मर्ज इट विद द कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट टू डिटरमिन द एक्सटेंट ऑफ इरेगुलरिटी एंड पीरियड ऑफ द इरेगुलरिटी इन सच केसेस। और वो 90 दिन से ऊपर हो जाता तो क्लासिफाई दैट पर्टिकुलर अकाउंट एज एनपीए. Another thing that I will like to talk to you is, और मेरे ख्याल में ये सबसे ज्यादा डेंजरस विषय है, इफ यू आस्क मी टुडे, आरबीआई कहता है प्रूडेंशियल नॉर्म्स में कि अगर आपने किसी को क्रेडिट लिमिट दे रखी है बेस्ड अपॉन ए डीपी कैलकुलेट कर रखी है बेस्ड अपॉन ए स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट विच इज मोर देन 180 डेज ओल्ड, तो आपको अकाउंट को क्लासिफाई करना है एज एनपीए, कितना भी बढ़िया अकाउंट ऑपरेट कर रहा हो कोई भी। अब बैंक वाले के पास स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट आई है या नहीं आई है पता नहीं है, या बैंक वाले ने पार्टी से स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट ब्लैंक साइन करवा के अपने पास रखी हुई है, और वो अपनी मर्जी से कोई भी फिगर्स उसमें सिस्टम में फीड करता रहता। मिलेंगे आपको ये केसेस, ये आपको बता सकता हूं। उन्हें रैंडम बेसिस प्लीज चेक वट एवर फिगर्स हैव बीन फेड इनटू द सिस्टम, जो भी रैंडम बेसिस के ऊपर कोई भी किसी भी क्वार्टर में किसी भी पर्टिकुलर पीरियड की आप फिगर्स जो उसने स्टेटमेंट फीड कर रखा उसको कहिए वो स्टेटमेंट दिखा दीजिए मैं कब आया आपका। और आपको अगर वो स्टेटमेंट नहीं मिलता और वो ये कहता मैं आज इसमें फिगर भरवा देता हूँ सर, पड़ा स्टेटमेंट तो मेरे पास, दैट अकाउंट इज एनपीएल, लेट्स बी वेरी क्लियर अबाउट इट, देयर इज नो अदर वे। और ये तो बेसिकली इट इज अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ फ्रॉड कमिटेड बाय द बैंक मैनेजर ऑन द सिस्टम, कि जो फिगर उसके पास नहीं थी, he has imputed that particular figure and fed into the system. He can't do it under any circumstances. Another thing that one will like to talk to you is, आपके पास इस साल की बैलेंस शीट तो नहीं है, पिछले साल की ऑडिटेड बैलेंस शीट आप सबके पास है, पिछले साल की स्टॉक रिटर्न्स भी आपके पास है, सबके पास है। पिछले साल की बैलेंस शीट को उसकी स्टॉक रिटर्न्स के साथ कंपेयर जरूर करिए। 31 मार्च को उसने 31 मार्च की नहीं दी होगी, 26 मार्च की दी होगी स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट, वो हम ही कहते हैं भाई 26 मार्च की देना, 28 मार्च की देना, 31 मार्च की मत दे देना, पर वो फिगर आप रिकंसाइल कर सकते हैं P&L और स्टॉक्स के साथ, कोई ऐसा लंबा चौड़ा गेम नहीं है। आफ्टर ऑल वी आर ऑल चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स, वी नो द रिकंसिलिएशन हाउ इट इज टू बी कैरिड आउट। अब आपने ये देखा कि बैलेंस शीट में हमेशा 99 मैं ये बोल सकता हूँ मोर देन 95% ऑफ द टाइम। बैलेंस शीट में स्टॉक्स की फिगर हमेशा कम होंगी, डेटर्स की फिगर हमेशा कम होंगी, क्रेडिटर्स की 3 गुना होंगी। और अगर ये यही चलता है सिस्टम, अगर तो 5-10% की वेरिएशन हो, मैं फिर ये कहूंगा इग्नोर इट, नो इशू। पर अगर वेरिएशन 30% की है, 25% की, 40% की है और उसकी डीपी बन ही नहीं सकती किसी भी सूरत में, तो उसको एनपीए करना अकाउंट को, पर एक बैलेंस शीट के बेसिस पे नहीं करना। आपने पिछले साल की बैलेंस शीट देखी, उसमें नहीं बन रही थी उसकी डीपी, उसके पिछले साल की बैलेंस शीट पे भी चले जाइए और उसके पिछले साल की बैलेंस शीट की फिगर्स में भी अगर वही नतीजा निकलता है, तो उस साल से उस अकाउंट को लेके आइए एनपीए करके। इस साल में नहीं करना उसको पहली बार एनपीए। अगर वो डाउटफुल बनता तो उसको डाउटफुल बना के फिर उस पर प्रोविजन करवाइए। तो फ्रेंड्स, मोटा मोटा जो मुझे बोलना था ऑन अ कैश क्रेडिट बेसिकली, दैट आई हैव ट्राइड टू टेल यू। बाकी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो चल सकती हैं। अगर आप स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट देखेंगे, डेटर्स का देखेंगे, जो वो स्टेटमेंट देता है, आप उसको एनालाइज करेंगे कि अगर एक तरह का डेट एक करोड़ का डेटर जाता, दूसरे करोड़ 1 करोड़ का डेटर इमीडिएटली क्रिएट हो जाता है, तो ये देख लीजिए कि 1 करोड़ का जो डेटर गया उसका क्रेडिट भी आया क्या आपके अकाउंट में या नहीं आया। अगर 1 करोड़ का डेटर वैनिश हुआ है कहीं पे, तो 1 करोड़ का क्रेडिट भी आना चाहिए ना मेरे अकाउंट में। ऐसा तो नहीं कि वो 1 करोड़ का क्रेडिट नहीं आएगा मेरे अकाउंट में। ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि फिगर उसने, क्योंकि उसको ये लग रहा है कि अगर यही डेटर दिखाया 6 महीने तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगी, क्योंकि फिर इसकी वो डीपी में कैलकुलेशन नहीं आएगी। तो देर आर न्यू वेज विच पार्टीज एंड द बैंकर्स ट्राई टू क्रिएट द डीपी इन द अकाउंट्स। वी हैव टू बी विजिलेंट, and as I said, we have to use the sixth sense to actually reach the correct results. That's all I will like to say. Thank you very much. And with Hitesh ji being there and Ketan Saiya being there, I personally feel मेरा तो opening remarks थे, मैंने I have done my opening remarks whatever I wanted to say. Thank you very much, and thanks Deepti.
Thank you, sir.
For the
And
opportunity.
thank you, sir. Sir, we are going to have a panel discussion, and in which definitely Hitesh ji is there with us, and we really want insights on various aspects related with the bank branch audit from your side. So, Hitesh sir is there with us, and for all our
You want
audience,
me
I
to
would.
continue? You said I am only to deliver the keynote address.
100% you have to
You
guide
have
us.
to be.
100%.
Another 10-15 minutes maximum, boss.
Oh,
Please.
okay.
So,
Okay.
yes, sir. Here I take the privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, panelist. We have with us Ketan Saiya sir and our own Hitesh Pomal sir. Since he is a partner with our sister concern SK Patodia and Associates. So let me first give a small introduction about हितेश जी, केतन सर सभी जानते हैं, शायद ही कोई सीए होगा who don't know this two faces or two names in the area of bank branch audit, and both of them are traveling across India to serve the members, to share their knowledge, insights with various branches, be it EIRC, NIRC or WIRC. Anyway, and of course the online platform as like ours, many other online sessions they both are doing. And so Hitesh Pomal sir is the partner with SK Patodia and Associates LLP and is looking after the entire banking's BFSI sector, and he has been the past vice chairman of WIRC of ICAI, having a lucid experience in the field of banking sector from last more than 25 years. And with these words, welcome Hitesh bhai. A short but definitely I don't think your name is very amplified. So wonderful sir to have you, and we have our own Ketan bhai with us, the immediate past chairman of WRC of ICS. Sir, congratulate first of all for very successful tenure last year which you had, and we have seen fabulous program, fabulous work under your leadership, and Sir has been in practice for 31 years plus and delivered more than 160 plus speeches on various matters, topics related with the members of ICI. And under his leadership, WRC has been awarded as the best regional council, All India, and best Vikasa award. Uh, uh, of course, for the when it was done, and he has been the committee leader of WRC Direct Tax Committee for the year 26-27 and 2023-24, Aggregation of Firms Committee 26-27, Study Circle Coordination Committee, Charitable Trust NPO Committee, Exposure Draft Committee, and of course he's a leadership role, he's a role model for many chartered accountants, is starting from a very humble background. And if you want to know more about the sir, you can go through his LinkedIn profile where he had shared his entire journey at the time of when he took the oath last year as a president. So you can go through, sir, very nice, and it's very inspiring to go through your entire journey. With these words, the forum is open for all three stalwarts of the profession, Hitesh Bhai, Ketan sir and Amarjit sir, to please carry on with the panel discussion. Meanwhile, I request all the participants to please keep posting your questions as they are with us today to answer your questions. Over to you, Hitesh Bhai.
Thank you so much, Dipti Madam. And once again, thank you, GyaanStation, for inviting us today, as we discussed last year also. And that was a wonderful seminar, and we did enjoy it a lot. And this is the platform where consecutively for the second time, I got the opportunity to have the blessings of Amarjit Chopra sir also in view of, because as we all know, and you have rightly said, that he is the stalwart, and more particularly so far as the bank audit is concerned. And I was fortunate enough that at the time of when we were the central auditors with State Bank of India, I got his guidance like anything. So in true sense, he is our guru, and Ketan Bhai will also absolutely agree with me also in this case.
True, very true, very true.
First and foremost is about the what sir has deliberated upon about the case credit is. In that case, Ketan Bhai, my submission is that what sir has said is absolutely correct. But in the modern era, you see, historically, the case credit is generally for the business purposes. But with these new innovative products, that when the private sector banks are coming up with the new products, right? So now it is for the non-business purposes also, right? If we suppose we are a chartered accountant, so in that case, if I can avail the loan against property in the nature of overdraft facility also. So first and foremost is the clarification with reference to the IRAC norms, whether the IRAC norms related to term loan will apply in those cases, or the case credit will apply in those cases. And we'll give you a clear one simple example that Ketan Bhai, I have availed one LAP of rupees 10 lakhs rupees, right, in the nature of case credit and overdraft. I have utilized and I have to pay 50,000 rupees per month. So that will be the reducing DP. So that mota means my tenor will be of 20 months hypothetically, right? And I have and wherein the checkbook facility is also given to me, to the borrower, right? And I have availed only 2 lakhs rupees, right? And this is not my principal account actually, right? I am dealing with the other bank or other branches. This is not my current account wherein my business transactions are also being dealt with into, right? So in that case, that I have availed 2 lakhs rupees out of the 10 lakhs which is sanctioned to me, right? And my outstanding at any point of time is less than the drawing power, but I have not utilized that unit, that account actually. So under the circumstances, that Para 2B of the master circular, that if in case of, sir has rightly said, that CCOD, if there is no credit or credit is insufficient to cover the interest charge during the 90 days time, right? In that case, what is your opinion, sir? If you can throw some light into it, that
Thank
what
you,
is your opinion on this?
Thank you so much, First of all, respected Amarjit Chopra sir being there, you being there, both of you are much more experienced than even me also.
Yes, sir.
Naturally, I'll share my views, but I will request Chopra sir and you also to add on that if I'm missing on something. And also, let me thank Dipti and the entire team of GyaanStation for having me invited here and able to talk to all of you. So, Dipti, sincere thanks to you. It's a pleasure and privilege to be a part of panel with both these stalwarts, Hitesh bhai as well as Amarjit Chopra sir. I think that's one of the opportunity we get to have with these type of stalwarts in the banking. Before I come to the my views on what Hitesh sir said, the Chopra sir deliberated upon the issues in the Companies Act and the audit related. That the draft says that there will be a range of small companies which will go out of audit. So I think what Chopra sir said is correct. Today, the ICI is deliberating and having a discussion with the MCA regarding this amendment which is proposed, be it as may be. But what I feel is that there are two things. Number one, if we see that the tax audit limit when it was increased from whatever 1 crore to 10 crore, we saw that there were other clauses which were amended, wherein if the company had, if the assessee had lower net profit margins, they were also under tax audit because of those other provisions. Similarly, here what I'm understanding that world over, if there are borrowings or there are third party funds involved, even in small companies, they will remain under audit. This is what is being talked basically. Second, if when we talk about the so many CAs being clearing, immediately, what sir said is right. 15,000 people are clearing in this attempt, every attempt people are clearing, and because of which there's a huge supply. And is there a demand or not? That is one question. And sir, as rightly said by sir, that these students which are coming, the chartered accountant which are coming, what are they seeing? So what I see when we talk to this fresh CAs, most of them don't want to go in practice. That is one. They are asking for the areas, even in practice, if they are in, let's say very big firm or they are joining industry, what are they asking? They are saying that most of them I have seen asking that we want to go in investment banking. This is, one terminology. I don't know, in within that there are various type of functions, but broadly where they come and they say that we want to go to IB. If they are in practice or if they join big firm, what they are asking? Valuation, due diligence, consultancy in IPO, the overseas work, especially the out of India work, whichever is happening. Sir also mentioned about, the overseas work. So I think the time has changed. The new chartered accountant, more or less, they don't want to work into the tax compliance or statutory audit, but they are wanting, and maybe they are right also. I'm not saying they are wrong, wanting to work in the area of investment banking, valuation, due diligence, forensic audit. Sir said about technical difficulties even in forensic audit also. But I think, time to come, the methodology of audit will change. Instead of true and fair, people are expecting more on true and correct sort of things. So be it as may be, coming to the cash credit, I think sir rightly touched upon the issues in the cash credit. There are one-liner stock statement, manipulations in drawing power, changes in computer system of not changing the DP every month, or putting wrong date of receipt of stock statement. Even if stock statements have not come, the people have fed the date that as if it has come, and system is thinking that it has come and it is working and giving full DP. So these all aspects we need to be very, very carefully. Coming to the overdraft and cash credit, the master direction dated 28th November as updated 2025, updated till 1st Jan 2026, says that overdraft and cash credit will have to see out of order situation. Now, in the given case in which sir said that DP is reducing every month, so we will be looking at DP is reducing every month and whether the amount is above DP. So there are in out of order, sir mentioned there are three possibilities. One, the limits are continuously above drawing power or sanction limit, whichever is less. Second, there are no credit in past 90 days to cover up the interest or it is not getting covered up sufficiently. So there are insufficient credit in that account to cover up the interest. So in the first point will not come, sir said that maybe my drawing power is 5 lakh rupees, but outstanding is 2 lakh rupees. So we'll have to see whether the interest is served or not in this particular case. If the party is serving the interest, then in those situations, the account will remain as in order and it will not be out of order. So in my mind, the overdraft and cash credit fundamental remains same. We'll have to see out of order situation, all three conditions of out of order, whether credits are sufficient to cover up the debit, and there has to be genuine credit, what we are talking of. Second, if the sanction limit and drawing power can each have the account and it is properly operative, then the account will remain as standard. It is why you yourself can add if they have missed something, and respected Chopra sir is also here.
Etan bhai, in my opinion, actually, the ideally, since it is in the nature of overdraft, the IRAC norms related to CCOD will apply.
Correct,
Now,
sir.
now here the intervention or the clarification from the Reserve Bank or the regulator is required. Why? Because that since this is in the nature of overdraft, right? And it is not my principal account wherein my business transactions are being transacted. In that case, the borrower will be in a problem because though there is no credit or credit is insufficient to cover the interest charged during the year, the borrower is not at a fault according to me. Right? When by merely affixing the NPA stamp on any borrower, we know the consequences of classifying the account as NPA. So in that case, they should come up with this type of clarification. And one more issue is about what Chopra sir has discussed and deliberated upon in greater detail is about the verification of drawing power. So whatever sir has discussed, it is sufficient. But one more issue is about as we all know that again the new product that is in the form of digital lending by discounting of the bills on the digital platform. You see, now as we all know that IRAC norms are settled, automation of IRAC norms are completely settled, and even the regulator has accepted that 90 days delinquency norms, right, that is being automated fully. There is no question or material question related to this. So now as an auditor, what sir has rightly said, that we have to use our sixth sense. That is most important part of it. Now coming to this, again, the new product, like the bill discounting. Historically, bill discounting was of the borrower's bill which was discounted. But since last 2-3 years, to facilitate the MSME, the government came up with the new platform wherein the bill of the supplier will be discounted. So in that case, in all probability, if I will give you again one more example, that I am enjoying 10 crore rupees case credit limit from XYZ bank. Second thing, the bank has allowed me or sanctioned me 5 crore rupees for the discounting of bills of my creditors also, subject to that my credit rating should be above a certain limit, that is BBB negative or investment rating credit, right? So under the circumstances, and second thing, since this is again these new product, the designated branches are only permitted to deal with it. For example, I am utilizing the limit with one of the branch at Ahmedabad, and in Ahmedabad the main branch is designated for discounting of bill. And if my creditor's bill is discounted on the platform, that is an auction actually, that is now again settled. So my point is that my university branch at Ahmedabad doesn't know that Hitesh Bhai is also enjoying the bill discounting facility on trades platform. So, and as a borrower, my obligation is to submit my stock statement every month. And in the stock statement, I shall have to reduce the sundry creditors to arrive at the paid stock. But here in many cases, which I have also observed, right, that the sundry creditors are reduced. But instead of sundry creditors, my obligation will be towards the bank who has discounted this bill. And that discounting of bill to the supplier whose bill is discounted is without recourse. There is no mechanism, sir. I have also confirmed with the management of the bank too, right? And this has also become Titanic. This ship has become Titanic now. there is no mechanism to curb this, because you see, we are discussing about 5-10 crore rupees, but banking sector per se, if we discuss, right, it runs into the 3 or 4 lakh crore rupees to the best of my knowledge. So under the circumstances, it is nothing but the double financing, because my creditors are reduced to arrive at the paid stock on which I have availed the drawing power, and means I have availed the working capital facility. And then second thing, that I have not reduced, even though my obligation is still there. So there is no mechanism from Reserve Bank of India. They are aware of it also. I had the discussion with the SSM too, but they should come up with these directives also in this regard. And as an auditor, if sir is available there, so what is
I'm very much available.
Sir.
Very
Sir, in that
frankly,
case, my
I'm very
earnest,
clear. Whatever you have said is, I 100% endorse your views.
sir.
Reserve Bank of India must come up with the guidelines with regard thereto. You see,
Sir.
there is no doubt about it that these need to be reduced. And otherwise, there is no paid stock. Where is the paid stock?
Absolutely, sir.
Very frankly.
Sir,
After all,
absolutely.
and it will all depend upon with recourse or without recourse. That's also a point, basically. So,
Yes, sir.
if it is without recourse, then all the more problem, basically. So
It is without recourse, sir. It is without recourse, for sure.
if it is without recourse, then there is every reason that it must be reduced. But if the people are not showing, but then I have only one point here, that this figure has to appear somewhere as a borrowing or as a loan.
Yes, sir.
If it has to appear as a loan somewhere, and I'm looking at the balance sheet of the party of the last year, and if on 31st March it is there, then as an auditor I must question it immediately. But what happens is that most of these parties settle this particular liabilities before 31st of March and then prepare the balance sheet, so that these are disguised. That is the problem. Otherwise, this needs to be reduced under all circumstances. There is no doubt about it.
And the second issue is about the, sir, in case this, we did discuss about the sole banking. But the issue which I came across during my branch audit last year only, in June quarter only, sir. In that case, the consortium finance, the working capital assessment was of 600 crores. The borrower was enjoying up to 600 crore fully throughout the year, throughout the tenure. There were 10 participants basically, right? And all the participants has sanctioned 25 crore each to that borrower, right? So in that case, he was also utilizing this 25 crore from all the party, clubbing all together the working capital. Instead of 600 crore, he was enjoying 850 crore rupees. My question was that whether it will be the part of the consortium finance, or it will be in case of any unfortunate event happens.
No, it cannot be the part of consortium finance.
Nice, sir. So as an auditor, what responsibility sitting at the branch, what responsibility or the disclaimer or reporting somewhere in the LFAR or anywhere?
ये long form में नहीं. I don't think it's a part of long form audit report. इसमें your DP is getting affected straight away, यार.
नहीं, but the point, sir,
अगर आपने कंसोर्टियम में एंजॉय किया 600 करोड़ का, वो ऑलरेडी एंजॉयड है, और फिर 25-25 करोड़ रुपए आप हर बैंक से इंडिविजुअली भी ले गए, तो इट इज नथिंग बट दी सॉर्ट ऑफ ए कॉर्पोरेट लोन व्हिच द पार्टीज वर टेकिंग प्रायर टू 2014, and that is when the banks went fut, very frankly.
Sir, in that case, my only submission is that being a branch auditor, this time I am branch auditor only. Sitting at the branch, I am not aware of that fact, because my branch is not the designated branch to deal with those type of discounting facility. So
अगर मुझे नहीं पता है और मेरे पास कोई एविडेंस नहीं है, then I am not bothered about it, no. You see, हितेश भाई, एक बात तो आप मानेंगे,
yes sir,
जो चीज मेरी किसी रिकॉर्ड में नहीं है, मेरी किसी बैलेंस शीट में नहीं है, उस पर मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फिक्स हो ही नहीं सकती ना. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू पिक अप द फिगर्स फ्रॉम एयर. मेरे सामने अगर कोई चीज आएगी तब मैं पकड़ पाऊंगा, अदरवाइज आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू डिटेक्ट इट.
ग्रेट सर, okay, thank you. One more issue is about the new product. Again, new product. Today I decided to discuss these cases only. Why? Because it is of the prime importance, and for the year 25-26 it will be very, very relevant for the branch auditors also. Sir, one more issue is about the general purpose loan. Now religiously all the banks have started giving general purpose corporate loans.
वो पहले भी दे रहे थे हितेश भाई, वहीं पे तो मरे हैं बैंक. Corporate loan for general purposes. एक के पास वो जाता था, जनरल पर्पस कॉर्पोरेट लोन लेता था, जिस वक्त इससे ड्यू होता था वो दूसरे के पास चला जाता था। वेयर रघुराम राजन एक्चुअली स्टेप्ड इन एंड ही सेड ये नहीं हो सकता भाई, आप जनरल पर्पस लोन क्या होता, व्हाट इज जनरल पर्पस लोन? आप ऐसे थोड़ी ना किसी भी बैंक के पास चले जाएंगे। पहले यही हो रहा था, ए क्या ड्यू हुआ बी के पास गए, बी के पास ड्यू हुआ सी के पास गए, सी का ड्यू हुआ डी के पास गए। रघुराम राजन पुट ए फुल स्टॉप टू दिस। अगर ये सरकार ने दोबारा ये कर दिया है तो आई थिंक गॉड नोज व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन
It
आफ्टर
is
5
there,
years।
sir. It is there everywhere. It is there, sir. I have also
फिर
come across so many cases.
फिर 5 साल बाद कि बैंकिंग में क्या होगा, ओनली गॉड नोज। अभी तो
हाँ,
आप मुद्रा लोन तो डिस्कस ही नहीं कर रहे यार,
मुद्रा लोन तो हम कर ही नहीं रहे हैं।
आप
यस यस
डिस्कस ही नहीं कर रहे हो। करीबन 10-11 लाख करोड़ का है मुद्रा लोन, और कैसे बटा है वो भी आपको मालूम है, मुझे भी मालूम है।
in that case, sir,
सर वैसे ही केसीसी भी है।
वो तो सर
केसीसी तो अब उन्होंने कह दिया ना कि अगर सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट पे हो जाए तो आप रोल ओवर कर लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
परपेचुअल है।
वो तो कर दिया
perpetual।
उन्होंने। गोल्ड लोन का भी कर दिया कि गोल्ड लोन में भी इंटरेस्ट सर्विस हो जाए तो रोल ओवर कर दो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
In case of general purpose loan, sir, I came across the issue that the certificate which was given by our chartered accountant only, it was Ketan by clearly mentioned that the fund was utilized for the purpose for which it was availed. So I just asked them one foolish question. I just asked him that one foolish question, that as a branch auditor, my responsibility is to write that whether the loan is given for the purpose of buyback of the shares. One of the question is there in the LFR, right? So in that case, what should I write? Because this time wherever I have deliberated upon,
नहीं, आपको यही लिखना पड़ेगा कि लॉन्ग फॉर्म में तो that they have availed certain general purposes loan which they have used for the purpose of business only, provided उसने कोई एडवांस वगैरह ना दिया हो किसी को। You see, अगर उसने ये लोन लेके आगे सब्सिडरीज को या जॉइंट वेंचर्स को एडवांसेस दिए, देन द एडवर्स रिमार्क विल हैव टू कम इन। अगर वो नहीं बढ़े हैं तो फिर ठीक है, फिर बिजनेस में ही चल रहा है, वेजेस के लिए दिया या एडवर्टाइजमेंट के लिए दिया, किसी के लिए भी दिया। पर अगर ये पैसा यूज हो गया फॉर द एडवांसेस टू सब्सिडरी और एज इक्विटी टू द सब्सिडरी और फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ बिल्डिंग्स और एनीवेयर एल्स बेसिकली, तो आप प्रॉब्लम में। Then as an auditor I have to really look into it.
but in that case, sir, I am not the privy of those information or the financial statement of the
नहीं,
bank.
ऐसा है, पार्टी की बैलेंस शीट तो मेरे पास होगी ना, मुझे ये तो पता ही होगा कि किस वक्त वो आपको वो हुआ। After all, you will come to know when it has happened and how it has happened. क्योंकि मेरा अपना मानना ये है बड़ा क्लियरली कि जब कभी भी ये होगा तो आपको एक बात तो पक्की है कि आपके पास ये इंफॉर्मेशन होगी कि क्या हुआ है इस पैसे का, वो चेक कहाँ पे गया है, वेयर दैट चेक हैज गॉन, ये तो आपके पास होगा ही ना।
But in that case, sir, to be very honest, I was not able to find out that the ultimate use of those funds.
मैं आपकी डिफिकल्टी को अंडरमाइन नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बट एट द सेम टाइम आई मस्ट से कि ये नहीं हो सकता कि आप निकाल ना पाए इफ यू वांट सीरियसली टू डू इट। आफ्टर ऑल वो चेक इश्यू होके पार्टी के कैश क्रेडिट को क्रेडिट होके वहां से निकल के कहाँ गया या वहां से सीधा किसको गया, वो तो आप निकाल सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है।
And it is everywhere, sir. It is everywhere.
ठीक है,
Corporate, it is everywhere.
ठीक है।
One more issue is about the, sir, that what is, sir, in your opinion, sir, that the issue which I did discuss with the Ketan Bhai about the CC audit. Ideally, that was historically for the business purpose. Now it is for the any other purpose also other than business too. In those
दिक्कत वही है कि एक्चुअली नॉर्म्स तो उस पर अप्लाई, आरबीआई तो यही कह रहा है जो सीसी और ओडी के लोन है एक इंटरचेंजेबली अप्लाई करो बेसिकली। अगर 90 दिन की रेगुलरिटी है तो वही अप्लाई करो। बट आई थिंक आरबीआई मस्ट कम अप विद कि बिजनेस पर्पस के लिए या पर्सनल पर्पस के लिए। आई थिंक दैट दोस डिस्टिंक्शन और ये इश्यूज सेंट्रल स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर्स को फ्लैग करने चाहिए विद दी आरबीआई व्हेन दे होल्ड द मीटिंग्स। अभी जैसे बॉम्बे में मीटिंग थी, इंस्टीट्यूट को होल्ड रेफर करने चाहिए टू द रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, पीडी कमेटी को इशू टेकअप करने चाहिए। अब अगर वो नहीं होंगे देन देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम।
I suggested to the forum actually that you should write at least one value addition, your one appropriate remark at the appropriate reporting, either
मैं आपसे एक चीज शेयर कर सकता हूँ। पिछले साल एक ऑडिटर ने, मेरठ से ऑडिटर है, he has referred one particular point to the Reserve Bank of India. We discussed it at length और हमें लगा कि इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. आरबीआई ने उसका रिप्लाई अब दिया है उसको, और उसने आज फिर उस पे उसको काउंटर मार दिया, और उन्होंने ऐसा जलेबी बना के रिप्लाई दिया, मैं आपको बता नहीं सकता. आरबीआई वाला उन्होंने कहा वी हैव एडवाइज द स्टैट्यूटरी सेंट्रल ऑडिटर्स टू रिप्लाई टू यू इन द मैटर. उसने फिर उनको लिखा कि मैंने आपसे ये तो कहा ही नहीं, मैंने तो ये पूछा कि मुझे ये बता दीजिए कि ये ठीक है या नहीं ठीक है ट्रीटमेंट इसका. अब देखिए क्या रिप्लाई आता है उसका. मेरठ के ऑडिटर हैं.
And sir, issue is about the generally the members are complaining that now the banks are not giving the sufficient time. This time religiously all the
तो
banks
कभी भी नहीं देते थे यार.
वो 10th of but this time
टैक्स ऑडिट वाला आपको टाइम देता है क्या?
but in this
एक बार बताइए, प्राइवेट क्लाइंट टाइम देता है क्या?
one of the banks are it is 6th.
बॉस मैं बड़ा सिंपल हूँ. टाइम तो मुझे खींचना है, टाइम बैंक नहीं देगा. और मैं अगर राइटिंग में डाल के टाइम मांगूंगा ना, उससे रिक्वायरमेंट्स मांगूंगा और नहीं देगा तो मैं बैठ सकता हूँ उसके पास. देन इट इज माय लीगल राइट टू हैव द टाइम. अगर मैं वर्बल बात करता रहूंगा तो टाइम नहीं मिलेगा.
Chopra sir, the banks are threatening like anything sir. Last time also
रहे यार. एक बात बताओ, आप भी एसबीआई में रहे, हम भी रहे, कितने ब्रांच ऑडिटर्स रिमूव हुए थे अगर किसी ने 5 दिन लेट भी दी थी बैलेंस शीट तो?
this time sir, nowadays they are writing very clearly that we will consider your branch as the unaudited branch sir.
बॉस करें तो सही. ऐसा है, ये थ्रेटनिंग चलता रहेगा. हम थ्रेटन हो जाते हैं, हम प्राइवेट वाले से भी तो थ्रेटन होते हैं. वो जो 5 बजे आता है टैक्स ऑडिट करवाने शाम को लास्ट डेट को, उससे हम थ्रेटन नहीं होते क्या? उससे भी थ्रेटन होते हैं. सो ये थ्रेटन का छोड़ दीजिए चक्कर. ये तो मेरी करेज ऑफ कन्विक्शन के ऊपर है और मेरी उसके ऊपर है. एंड आई थिंक सम ऑफ द सेंट्रल ऑडिटर्स हैव टू प्ले ए वेरी पॉजिटिव रोल इन दिस पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन. I had a wonderful experience last year as a branch auditor. One of the Bombay auditors actually played a wonderful role. We were in a bit of a difficulty in the sense we were asking for certain provisions. Bank was not agreeing. He told them कि यार क्यों ये कर रहे हो कि नहीं करना provision, बिल्कुल ठीक point है, इस पर provision करो आप. And he got it provided for. So ये central auditors का भी तो role है. मुश्किल ये कि central auditors will have to have some daring to do it. They need to have a courage of conviction. At this point, I may like to leave Hitesh bhai and Dipti, if you don't mind.
Great,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very very.
Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And Hitesh ji, we have few questions in the Q&A box. I would like to take those questions. Yeah.
Before that question, since I think so that we have some 5 minutes left before the question answer time, I require 5 minutes to discuss about the something very very interesting and which is relevant at the branch audit level for the effective audit of the branch. You see, what we discuss, friends, what we discuss with the Chopra sir is about it's a fact that they are threatening us, number one. Number two, to the branch auditor. I'm not the central auditor this time to any of the bank. I'm also the branch auditor. And we have also got that time limit of 10th. 10th is fine. In one of the bank, I came to know from somebody that it is 6th only. But the point is that if we have appropriately planned our audit program and we have given the list of our requirement basically in appropriate time limit by tomorrow or latest by day after tomorrow through mail, in that case, they are supposed to provide us all the information and the documentation which is required. One more issue is about the logistical problem. Somebody yesterday only telephoned me that, sir, my office or my establishment is at somewhere in the Gujarat, and they have given me the branch of Begusarai, that is somewhere in the interior Bihar basically. So for them to reach to that place is very very difficult. And it is strictly mentioned in the appointment letter that you should not visit branch before 2nd or 3rd. Right? So these are the difficulties basically. So before instead of giving up to their pressure, right, we should come out strictly with the requirement that is very very important to come to the opinion from the opinion for the 2025-26. One more issue is about the value addition, friends, it is very, very important. Whatever we have discussed in the limited time, for the paucity of time, I will not discuss at thread, but and since I always deal with the practical aspects, because I was the branch auditor, I am the branch auditor as well as the central auditor throughout my career. So on that basis, I know if I am a central auditor, what type of treatment I am getting, that I know, and if I am a branch auditor, I know what type of treatment we are going. It is very common that we, the auditors, are most unwanted guests to any of the host, basically. Right. So considering all these time limit, but ultimately we should not succumb to the any of the pressure. And second most crucially for verification of advances is the sample size. It's a myth, because the from 2021 onwards, the LFAR requirement that we have to write the number of accounts or advances we have verified. It's a myth that we are supposed to check this much number of advances or this much percentage of advances. Right? The only basic condition is that 10 crore or 10% of the total advances of the branch. You don't have any choice. That has to be the part of your sample selection. Second most important is that 5 standard assets we have to comment in the LFAR. That is also very much required. We have to be very, very careful. But my earnest request would be that instead of verifying 30, 40, 50 accounts, if I am allotted P segment branch wherein the ticket size is not more than 2 lakhs rupees and number of accounts runs into 5,000 accounts, is it possible for me, in case of agriculture advance, is it possible for me to verify all this? But what our friends are doing, what mistakes we are doing, that's a common mistake. That I am obliged to check 90% or 75% or substantial chunk of the advances. It's a myth. It is nowhere mentioned, barring these two requirement. So we have to be very, very careful. But the advance which we select for our verification, right, should be checked in totality, starting from appraisal till to sanction, documents, disbursement, and conduct of the account, security, and everything. Right? If I check 3 accounts, that is sufficient. And in this specialized era, it is not possible for us to verify. And second thing, one should keep that in mind, that we are going there as the statutory auditor, not in the capacity as the concurrent auditor, stock auditor, forensic, or any other capacity. Generally, the point is, if I'm doing the concurrent audit throughout the year, right, in my I will be with that state of mind that I am doing the concurrent audit. और हम उसमें उलझे रहेंगे, right, which will not have material financial impact on the financial statement I am certifying or giving the opinion thereon. Right? So that's it from my side with this paucity of time. And if any problem or any question is there, definitely we'll discuss to the best of my ability, basically.
Sure. So we have few questions in the Q&A box. Let me take the first one. My question is about the scope of the auditor's responsibility or management responsibility, corporate governance in the following scenario. The issue in housing loan involves lack of communication on ROI resets to borrowers under a floating rate structure, causing EMI underfunding and subsequent incorrect DPD reporting to correct bureaus. This resulted in deterioration of credit profile and consequential repricing of linked credit facilities. Hence, the cycle continues. Does this amount to a fraud? Are the auditors responsible to check customer grievances against the bank? Looking forward for your guidance.
To my knowledge, it's not a fraud, basically.
Okay.
But this interest reset is the responsibility of the bank management, basically, to appraise the borrower. And again, whenever I am visiting the branch, first I become the customer of the bank, then the borrower, then the banker, and then the auditor, basically. So in the interest ROI resets, as rightly asked by the participant, basically, it's not a fraud. Either increase in the ROI or the decrease in the ROI. If my ROI is linked with my base rate, right, it's not a fraud. But the thing is that proper intimation to the borrower, right, duly acknowledged by him that he is aware of these changes, is important. That has to be the responsibility of the branch management. And second thing, so far as the auditor responsibility is concerned, right, they should take one step ahead and verify whether it is communicated. Suppose the interest rate is increased due to change in the base rate or whatever the basic rate. right? In that case, base rate plus spread or effective rate, rather we can say. In that case, the branch auditor should go further into the checking, and he should verify that it is appropriately conveyed to the borrower and is appropriately acknowledged by the borrower also, or the EMI is reset or not. That is again the important question.
Sir, the next question is, in case of KCC, an interest subvention of 1.5% is provided for a maximum period of 1 year as per guidance note. If farmer pays the outstanding amount after 2 years, the 1.5% subvention is provided only for 1 year and remaining period 1.5% subvention not allowed, or 1.5% subvention remains available until the payment made. So how to deal with this kind of scenario?
I didn't get this question, that in case it is very clear that 1.5% is provided for a maximum period of 1 year as per the guidance note, right? But if the farmer pays outstanding amount after 2 years, then there is the question of providing 1.5% to the farmer. If he has not paid for 1 year also, and he has not paid anything for 1 year, right? So it should be for 1 year only.
Okay.
But in that case, under the circumstance, because every time we also get this type of queries from the members too, in that case, what is the guidelines of the bank in this regard, and how the interest subvention certificate which we are giving, the calculation is being done by the bank, right? That guideline requires our attention, and Reserve Bank of India's guidelines in this regard is also very, very important. Interest, because it's an absolute assurance, because we are giving true and correct in those certificates. Basically, it's not true and fair view, not reasonable assurance. It's absolutely so arithmetical as well as per the scheme it is required to be looked into.
One more question: which areas to be audited while auditing SME CC branch?
SME CC branch, that is in which, what is the this is the abbreviated form. What is SME CC? I think the branch which is
Would like the person who had
of course, Mr. Anil
participant
Jindal
who
is
had
there.
asked the question to please elaborate this code which he
yeah.
has mentioned. Meanwhile, sir, would like to have more insights, like what precautions as an auditor we should take while in this next week of
Many most
complete season
important
of
parties, madam,
branch audit.
everywhere, wherever I am dealing, I am deliberating upon this subject. This
Yes,
time
sir.
also, many of the places I have told to the members, right, that see, first and foremost is that the team which we are carrying with us, I am the engagement
Sir.
partner, and the team which we are carrying with us, they are our paid assistants, also qualified assistant, and even the article clerk also. Obviously, it is required. The only point, madam, is that now the articles are Gen Z articles, basically.
Very difficult.
And Gen Z articles, they do not know the business being carried out at the bank per se. My son is
Right,
also
sir.
a chartered accountant. He is a Gen Z, but trust me, madam, he has not visited the branch. In this era, actually, there is no need to visit branch, actually. Right? So they are not aware about the terminology being used at the branch level. What is the difference between funded advance and non-funded advance? What is the difference between interest and discount? You see, last time also I was the central auditor somewhere. Even the MOCs which were draft, it is very much clear that it is being done by the person or the member of the team who has no knowledge, or who is, obviously we were also the article at some point of time. Right, so we also passed through this phase. But now here the point is, my earnest request to the members would be that you please guide your team members sitting at your office for 3-4 hours for 2 days. And this particular in again this generation, they are very, very fantastic with the dealing with the computer. They are very, very good with the data mining. आप चाहे कितना भी दे दो, उनका माइनिंग, डेटा माइनिंग करके देंगे, but they do not know what to check. And see, with this experience or this at this age, it is very difficult for me to even discuss through this computer also. Right? So it is, मेरा तो ऐसा है कि मेरे हाथ में पेपर नहीं आए तब तक तो मैं पढ़ भी नहीं सकता कुछ भी. Right? But they should be aware that what they are doing. और second thing क्या होता है कि every year this team is changing. You see, this bank branch audit is for 4 years, and obviously article है तो articleship खत्म हुई, exam leave ये वो. So everywhere the team is changing. So my suggestion would be that first and foremost, sitting at your office, sitting before visiting the branch, right? We should have one day, 2-3 hours for 2 days at least, some session to discuss about the basic things. It is not expected that he should be 100%, he or she should be 100% expert in any of the things. But the thing is, those were the days when we have to check the interest calculation, whether arithmetically it is correct or not, whether the discount is properly discounted, is recognized or not, whether the prepaid expenses, these, that, rent expenses, it is now fully automated. We should not waste our time into this, barring some few examples, right? That sample checking is required. And second thing, again at the cost of repetition, if you ask me on the basis of my experience with the bank, is that things are very important to verify any of the account. Number one, more particularly CCOD. Number one is the sanction or renewal letter. Number one. That should be handy with you. If you are checking a file of XYZ enterprise who is enjoying 10 crore rupees cash credit from the bank, right? Either you should have the sanction if it is a fresh sanction, and if it is renewed, that latest renewal letter. That is number one. And number two, most important part is conduct of the account. You see, WRC had hosted one seminar that I did deliberated upon, is the borrower's behavior.
Right.
And that you can very well verify using our sixth sense through the conducting the account itself. There is no other way to verify anything. I fully agree and appreciate. Most of the time, we know all of the members must have come across this type of problem. They are not cooperating. 70% of the cases, they will tell that it is being taken care at the head office of the bank.
Right.
We do not have any access to these. It is calculated automatically. It is being done. Any sort of delay technique, whatever is in their hands, they will definitely use that delay technique, right? But we should not succumb to that pressure. Number one. Two thing. Even my team member has the experience of 2-3 years, and he is aware about the verification of advances, IRAC norm, compliances, etc. That I can give that responsibility to him, and then we have the discussion with them. But second thing, drafting of MOC is again an art. Very simple example, because of now it is 1850 now. So now as a central statutory auditor for 3-4 banks, I come across many of the issues related to incorrect MOCs. Be it in materiality level, 5,000 रुपए का MOC देने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, 50,000 का MOC देने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. एट मैक्स आप इंसिस्ट करो कभी करंट डेट में ये वाउचर पास कर दो. इट इज नॉट मटीरियल एट ऑल. Right, at branch level, which is material in your opinion, that is required. There is no materiality level so far as the IRAC norms compliance is there. There is no materiality level. Even if a small amount, if in your opinion requires the downgradation or upgradation, you are obliged to give the MOC for that. That is fine. But the thing is, drafting of MOC, what my system is, I used to write the journal entries. Suppose I am downgrading any one account, and if out of that 10 lakhs rupees account, 70,000 is the interest which is unrealized, I will write in the notepad or the paper on my table that interest income debit and advance is credit. Right? Interest expense is not debited. Again, that's a wrong MOC. And second thing, since as we all know that as per the RBI means Banking Regulation Act requirement, Schedule 9, the advances related information has to be given in 3 separate this thing, right? One is the sectorial classification. Sectorial classification is priority, non-priority, others, banking and others. Second is the security-wise classification, whether it is secured by tangible asset, whether it is secured by government guarantee, and second is whether it is unsecured. And third is the geographical area. That is obviously in India only. That is fine. But the thing is that any change which you are suggesting which has the effect on advances, you are bound to give the MOC which deals with the advances. That is the additional information. Say, for example, in this very particular example, if I am reversing 70,000 rupees in MOC related to advances, I am obliged to write that 10 lakhs is the outstanding as per the bank record. 70,000 in my opinion is the interest reversal, and 9 lakh 30,000 on which the 15% or appropriate provision is required to be suggested. The again the common mistake by the all of us, right, is that we are suggesting the provision on 10 lakhs rupees instead of 9 lakh 30,000 rupees. This is one. Number two is that it is very clear, even in the closing circular itself also it is very clear that provision on NPA accounts will be taken care at the head office level only. As a branch auditor, my responsibility is to suggest the provision requirement. I am not supposed to pass the MOC with to that effect by debiting the provision and provision on NPA account. This is again the third most common which I have observed. Fourth one is I have already discussed is about the materiality. Is about the materiality, and second most important is about the depreciation related issues. Depreciation, I have come across many of the my personal capacity also many of those MOCs which are not material at all, even if we consider the size of the financial statement of the branch itself, forget bank. So my humble request would be एडवांसेस अगर आप अपने एक्सपीरियंस स्टाफ टीम मेंबर से कराओ और आप उनको ओवरव्यू करो, दैट इज फाइन, बट ड्राफ्टिंग ऑफ एमओसी एक बार आप जर्नल एंट्री लिख के करो. Whatever the portal which is designed by the respective bank, you forget that portal first. Right? It is for the convenience of the bank, it is for the convenience of the central statutory auditor, so that they can consolidate it easily. That is fine. Technology is good. But as we all know, अंदर जो डालेंगे वही तो आएगा बाहर. Suppose I am not correctly mentioning what my opinion is or what my observation with reference to this MOC. No, many of the cases, madam, our auditors are not writing the reason for this. We have to be very, very specific. This is the reason.
Right.
Why it is mentioned. But friends, our one remark at appropriate level, be it at audit report or mostly at the LFAR level, right, that will solve this opportunity. Even some future is left with this opportunity. What sir has rightly said is correct. But the thing is, in the LFAR question, last column is, last reporting requirement is that in your opinion, if in your opinion, whether you have come across any issues or observation which requires the attention of the top management of the bank or the central statutory auditor, you write there. I am sure Ketan Bhai has now joined once again.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Something, in between came up just for 15
really?
minutes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
we can
okay,
continue the
please.
discussion.
So we
Yes,
were
sir, please
discussing about
continue.
what value addition as a branch auditor we can make so as to keep these opportunity alive even for the near future or whatever it is. Sir ने तो जो बताया वो तो बराबर है. It is absolutely correct that way. But the thing is that something of utmost importance, एक issue भी लिखेंगे ना, right? Then ये कारवा फिर बढ़ता जाएगा, and we will add something to this audit basically. You see, I also understand, Ketan Bhai is also agree with me that it is a yearly ritual. It is not like income tax or GST where we are keeping ourselves updated for day to day any change or regulations if the regulator is coming up with any changes. But the most important part is this, since this is the yearly ritual, हम लोग को पूरे साल में guidance not on bank audit तो पढ़ते नहीं है. We are not keeping ourselves updated. But for these 10-15 days, right, if we consider the time we will be involved, means investing in this bank branch audit, right, and if we compare the fees, I am 100% sure that the fee, if not exorbitant, but it is reasonable that way. What's your opinion, Ketan Bhai, in this regard?
100%, it is reasonable. See, if you see the the average branches nowadays are, if you leave last 10% of the branches are above 100 crore, 200 crore, and fees is into 2 lakh and all those range, and two branches अभी आ रही है तो 5 लाख रुपया on an average, 4 लाख से 5 लाख रुपया is the fees which is coming. कभी ऐसा होता है कि 300-400 करोड़ की ब्रांच है तो एक छोटी आती है जिसमें 40-50 हजार की फीस होती है और बड़ी ब्रांच में 3-4 लाख की फीस होती है. So I think we are completing all in all 10-12 दिन में ये exercise हो रही है. So I personally fees is reasonable. It is not that it is absolutely good. I am not at all saying it is good. It should be good, better, but it is reasonable. And see, we say that as a CA we are partner in nation building, तो थोड़ा social service भी है, ऐसे मान के भी करना चाहिए. एंड राइटली टोल्ड बाय यू हितेश सर कि इसमें काफी सारे सजेशंस आते हैं. सी बिगिनिंग विथ द छोटे छोटे इंटरनल कंट्रोल्स के पॉइंट, द वे these people are working, the kind of issue which comes up in the branch. If we narrate them in the last point where we are supposed to give suggestion to the central auditors and the management in the LFAR, wherever we write that, I have seen that it is being appreciated as and when we meet them, as and when they recognize that some good suggestions are given by the chartered accountants.
But
So
in
वो
that
तो
case,
करते
we
ही
should
रहना
not.
चाहिए.
We should not be worried that what happened to what I have suggested last year. You see, more of, in a lighter sense, always I used to tell that, see, we are the branch auditors and we are paid for the branch which I am doing. Simple. What with my report, what the central auditors or the top management is, you left to them because we are not paid for them, not paid for that actually. So that's
Agreed,
it,
sir.
madam. I think yes, it's already 7, madam. So now any further question? It is SME CC related question. I was reading you this,
Yes,
Mr.
yes, sir.
Arjun.
That
It is,
SME stands
sir.
for Small Medium Enterprises City Credit Center,
Sir, हाँ
which
तो
is
sir in that case,
specialized branch of public sector banks like SBI, mainly dedicated to processing business loans for small medium
but it
enterprises.
is that in that case, first and foremost is that we should have the balance sheet or the trial balance of the branch. In SME CCC branch, wherein the SME CC loans are processed, it is for their convenience. They are parked with the another branches. It is not parked with this branch, which you will be doing. And if you read the appointment letter, the fees are also, I think the limited fees is there, some 60,000 or
40,000 something.
40,000 something is there. So in that case, you need not have to look into the appraisal which being done by the bank throughout, by the branch throughout the year. It is not possible for us, sir.
Not
Right?
possible.
We have
So
to
the
go by
balance
the
sheet,
financial statement basically. If we see that in advances, any advance is there, answer is no, then you are not supposed to check anything. You go and you concentrate more on the balance sheet items and the profit and loss account items and the internal check and internal for LFAR reporting purpose if required. That's it. And probably LFAR will also not be there. Nahi, Ketan bhai?
I agree.
Right.
Only on something maybe on internal control, if you find के processing ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, credit appraisal कर ही नहीं रहे हैं,
Yes, yes.
so there you can write, but you are not duty bound to verify the advances. As you
Absolutely.
rightly said, you are not duty bound.
We are
The
not
balance sheet
duty-bound.
where it is reflected, वो auditor का काम है ये.
Hmm.
Right. We are having last two questions, but time is up.
So, and that also one question is from an anonymous attendee. What step must follow when entering any bank branch for concurrent audit and statutory audit of banks and NBFC? Oh, Baba. So it will
Yes,
require
sir.
another
So I
5
request the person to please personally connect with the sir, because we have to respect
Because it
the
requires another
time
session.
of so many people who are already attached with us. And Pankaj ji is already with us, eagerly waiting for his turn to be the part of this whole conversation. And Pankaj ji is the secretary for GSTBA Ahmedabad, and phenomenal person, superb support for us to organize GyaanStation webinars. Sir is always there. एंड जो भी हो पहले से ही शेड्यूल आ जाता है पंकज जी की तरफ से कि मैडम ऐसा 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 करना है. थैंक यू पंकज जी. ओवर टू यू सर.
Respected keynote speakers, esteemed panelists, distinguished guests, and dear participant, a very good evening to everyone. On behalf of the Gujarat State Tax Bar Association, it is my privilege to propose a heartfelt vote of thanks for this highly insightful webinar on bank audit expert panel insight. First and foremost, I extend my sincere gratitude to our esteemed keynote speaker, CA Amarjit Chopra sir, for sharing his invaluable knowledge and guide us with such clarity and depth. Your experience and wisdom have truly enriched all of us. I also like to express my deep appreciation to our distinguished panelists, Sri Ketan Shaya sirs and Sri Hitesh Pomal sirs, for their practical insight and expert perspectives. Your discussion has provided us with a clear understanding of the complexities and real world challenges in bank branch audit. A special thank to organizer Sri Dipti Jain and their entire team of GyaanStation for conceptualizing and executing such a meaningful and well organized session. Your effort in bringing together such eminent professionals are truly commendable. I would also like to acknowledge all the associate partner and supporting organization who contribute to make this event successfully. Finally, I extend my gratitude to all the participants who joined us today. Your active presence and enthusiasm made these sessions even more impactful. We hope this webinar has added significant value to your professional knowledge and will help you in your future assignment. With this, I conclude my vote of thanks. Thank you once again to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ketan
madam.
sir,
Thank you, Ketan
Hitesh
bhai.
bhai, for carrying the whole session, and
Thank you,
Majid
Ketan bhai.
sir.
Best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you.
yes, sir. Thank you,
Pankaj bhai, thank
everyone.
you. Dipti,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
Pankaj sir.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And one
Thank
more
you all participants.
important announcement. Again, we are for in the interest of members, we are coming up with a session AI tools for bank branch audit in the April first week. So that details also we will share soon, so that it will be in the benefit and benefit all the members who are going to conduct this bank branch audit and how they can shorten the process. Thank you so much. Stay tuned with GyaanStation and take good care of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.